Well, good morning, everyone. Are you all ready for a workout? Because I am certainly not. These are always a struggle. I mean, who are we gonna kid here? But, you know, it is Monday, and we agreed that we would do this, so we're doing this. We don't get to skip it. Not really much to say. I was finishing yesterday's video just a few minutes ago, and then I came up here and I stopped for a moment on the couch, and a moment turned into minutes, and those minutes turned into like 20 minutes or maybe a little bit more. And so I don't know if this is the kind of pep talk that I should be giving before we get into a workout, but I have always promised to show you the reality of any situation, and that is the reality today. We just need to get into it, and that is it. So I got my 50-pound kettlebell, and you guys may have, you know, whatever it is that you're doing for your workout. And so let's just get into it. I got my guitar picks here to keep track of my sets. I don't know what I'm gonna do when I get to Argentina, because actually I don't have any of this there. So we're gonna have to figure out something for Friday's workout, but we'll figure something out, right? I mean, there's always something that we can figure out. So just make sure that we're recording well here. You guys can see me. Is this a good spot? Seems to be a good spot. It's hard to see, like the screen on the camera is tiny. But yeah, looks like it is. All right, you guys, let's just go ahead and get into this before we talk ourselves out of it. Here we go. 100 kettlebell swings. It's going to take about 20 minutes. Whatever it is that you guys are doing, you know, we'll try to time it. We do it together. That's how we support each other. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Just realizing this is going to be the last kettlebell workout I do here, and like I said, I don't know what I'll have access to once I get there. So we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do for a workout from now on. I know that I naturally walk more when I'm in Argentina. It's just you know, like here in the US, my apartment is in the suburbs, and so I drive a lot everywhere. It's not very convenient to walk anywhere, as you guys know. But down there, my apartment this time is going to be like downtown, like literally a block from the Argentinian Congress. So, you know, and I always stay in that, you know, around that area, not this exact one, but sort of around that area. And the public transportation system in Argentina is beautiful, so good, so efficient. And so I end up just, you know, I take mostly public transportation, you know, the occasional Uber and taxis, but mostly public transportation, and that means that you walk more and you move around a lot more. So that'll be good. That'll be interesting, just to, you know, not have to like do the treadmill walking as much. And so it'll be, you know, it'll just naturally, there's more movement, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Let's do another set, you guys. Ready? Here we go. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that'll be very interesting. I know that that's always, for me at least, a good way to get more movement, not be as sedentary naturally, you know. Maybe at some point I stop taking the escalator and just like hit the stairs. I don't know. Little changes like that. We'll figure it out, I guess. We'll figure it out. But like I said, I guess like I have said in the last few videos, I do want to include more of the general day-to-day, because everything that we've been doing up until this point is very focused on just the food that I'm consuming. Now we're doing a little bit of exercise and stuff, but we're going to be branching out a bit more in terms of the stuff that I'm sharing with you guys, or at least that's my intention. Because I feel like everything plays such an important role into a lifestyle change and trying to improve our health. And so maybe just talking about or focusing so much only on the food that we're consuming, even though it's a very important part, feels a bit narrow for me. Now, something that I struggle with just in general is the idea of, or not the idea, I am very good at the planning portion, right? At the coming up with ideas. I am fantastic at that. My brain, it's an idea machine, an idea generator machine. But I do struggle with the execution a bit. And I think that if you're similar, you can probably relate. I'm very good at coming up with things that I want to do. And then when it's time to do the execution, that's where I struggle a little bit. And it's not always as easy or as clear as to like what I need to do. So, you know, I feel like I want to do this more, right? And I get all these ideas, and then the practicality, just when it comes down to like, well, if you want to do this, then you have to do this. Or if you want to show that, you have to do this. And that's where I struggle a little bit. Like, is that the way that we do it? I don't know. So I guess I'll be trying to take as much input as I can from you guys to figure out how to be able to do more of what I would like to do in a way that is also good for you guys, I guess, if that makes any sense. All right, let's do another set. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So we will see. Whew. I don't feel as strong today, as energized for the workout. But it is what it is. I was thinking, if you watched yesterday's video, just kind of thinking about the idea of having had pizza on Saturday night. It just, the idea of like having more food makes you hungrier is, I don't know, maybe some of you guys can chime in the comments. But that, I was thinking about that yesterday because it was, you know, like, it wasn't like a super late dinner, but it wasn't like, it's not like I ate the pizza at 2 in the afternoon. I ate at like, I don't remember that time was like, I don't know, maybe closer to 8, 7, 8, something like that. And so you guys have seen like in the last few weeks we have done like longer fasts, you know, like talking about like 24 hours sometimes or more, and not really struggling the next day. But then yesterday, so after Saturday night having pizza, by the time we were getting to lunch, I was like, fuck, I'm ready to eat. And so I don't know, it's not puzzling me, you know, because I guess one of the things that I'm learning a lot right now is how metabolism is such a complex process that it's difficult to understand like one-off things, you know? But it is interesting that, and so, you know, it's interesting to think that having had more calories made me hungrier faster for the next day. And I don't know if that has to do with the amount of calories, because like Laura was saying, maybe your body was starved for calories, so it just wanted more, like, oh, there's food. And so we're entering a few days of abundance. And I was trying to make an analogy with like how our brains, you know, would feel 50,000 years ago in a tribe or something, you know, like the way that our brains have evolved to be. And so, you know, and so I was trying to make that analogy, or I don't know, like maybe because of, you know, pizza is flour, so maybe something about having that amount of flour, the types of foods, and because there are so many theories, you know, about diet and nutrition, and and the science, and most of it is still out. I mean, we still don't understand enough. And so, I mean, we get some ideas, obviously, and everything, but it's just not a fucking exact science in any way. So it just, yeah, it just gets me thinking. I'm a thinker. I think about things all the time, as much as I can, and that's probably where a lot of my energy goes. All right, let's do another set. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Now, today I feel like it's going to be a little bit trickier because I had a coffee this morning, my usual coffee, and I don't know if I'm going to be having anything for lunch because so today's my last day because tomorrow I'm going. And again, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to Argentina tomorrow. Moving, I guess, because I will be there for a number of months, but it's not, I haven't been, I guess this is the time we can start talking about these broader things that I feel like before I had to keep it all very focused on the food and, you know, like nobody wants to hear about, but everything plays a role in some of these things. Everything has played a role in getting to this, becoming who I am, and, you know, how we get to this point, to this level. And so I guess this is an opportunity to start kind of bringing everything in together a little more. I guess in a way, I have been for a number of years what people consider a digital nomad. I don't know that I have ever considered myself that because, I don't know. I guess I always associate the term of digital nomad with younger kids with their laptop in Bali working at the beach, and that's never really been me. But I have, I guess, for the last few years, you know, quite a few years actually, been more location independent. And so I tend to sort of move around quite a bit. And I do try to spend some time, especially towards the end of the year here in the US, because my family lives here. Yeah, I try to spend as much time as I can in other locations. And for the last few years, I have been spending an increasing amount of time in Argentina. So it's the last 3 years. So 2022, 2023, 2024. This now that will be, but yeah, I guess this is my third year going back to spend a significant amount of time in Argentina. I love it. Argentina is a fantastic place, one of my favorite countries in the world, and so that's what we're going, or that's what we're doing. We're going to Argentina, and so I am moving there in terms that I'm not just going for a trip for a couple weeks, but I am, you know, I will have an apartment and sort of live there, and you know, we can talk about more. Talk more about that once I get there and kind of show you guys around and we do all that stuff. But it is in that way. It is, and I'm not merely visiting, but I'm actually living there. And you know, it's a very different dynamic. Well, let's do this. 41, 42, 43. 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Ugh. Halfway there, guys. Halfway there. Halfway there. So I am excited to get there. You know, there's always this bittersweetness about that, because I don't like saying goodbye to my family and my friends. Although I will be seeing more family and friends down there, but it's, you know, it's always hard. Especially because my parents live here. They're starting to get a little bit older. And so those feelings are very different now than, I guess, when I started doing this in my 20s, there wasn't, I don't know, I guess it wasn't as emotionally charged. And so that's always a little difficult. And also, I have in the last few years, and it's very interesting for me because I have done a fair bit of traveling, I started getting this anxiety around travel days. I guess I have been to certain places around the world where some unsavory things have happened to me. And so, I don't know, for the last few years, really kind of started in the last maybe 4 years, I would say, something like that. Just having this anxiety about travel day. Like even when I was fucking going to Texas, you know, like traveling inside the US is like the easiest thing ever. Especially if you have TSA pre-check, which is, you know, so easy. So, you know, it's hassle-free, but still, you know, anxiety. It's weird. And so I don't really like travel days that much, especially if it's been a few months. I'm a little bit out of the loop, and so just not particularly looking forward to that. All right, let's do one more set. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. And so, you know, that's that. It's also a little bit of it's not super long, but it's definitely not a short trip down there. So I'll be flying out of technically Virginia, the Dulles Airport in Virginia. It's one of the 3 airports of DC, or 3 main airports of DC. Man, I'm doing a layover in Bogota, Colombia, for like an hour and a half, so I won't be there long. And then a flight from there to Buenos Aires. So I'm leaving tomorrow in the afternoon, 3 p.m., and then get to Colombia like 7, 8-ish. Then like an hour and a half, like 9 something, board the next flight, And then by the time I get to Buenos Aires, it'll be like 5:30-ish local time. By the time I get through immigration and get an Uber to go to the apartment, probably get there like 7-ish or something. So, you know, also sleeping on a plane, probably not going to be the most comfortable. I am flying economy, not even choosing. I keep thinking I might just buy a seat for that flight, just to make sure that at least I get. You guys, you know, when I went to Texas, I was telling you about the, you know, being stuck in the middle and stuff. So like if I'm able to get a window seat for that, at least I can put all my weight into the window and, you know, have a little more room. In that way, I don't feel like I'm leaning into a stranger and it just makes you tense up and then you're not really well rested and stuff. And it's, you know, it'll be like altogether close to maybe 11 hours of flying. So at least the half of that I could sleep for should be slightly more comfortable. Maybe I'll do that. It's just, I know I hate paying for choosing my seat. I really have such an aversion to spending more than I need to on travel. And so we'll see, but this might be a concession that I am willing to make. There you go, one more set. 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. All right, 3 more sets, guys. We're getting there. We are getting there. So for those of you who've been sort of following this journey a little bit longer, is there something that you're looking forward to now that we're going to Argentina in terms of this that we're trying to do? You know, like maybe navigating this idea of losing weight in a different country. I don't know, maybe comparisons between like what, you know, how to do that there versus here in the US. I don't know, it's definitely going to be interesting for me because I mean, last year I sort of tried to be conscious of my eating while I was there, but not really, not in any real way. And so it is definitely going to be interesting. I mean, I basically was like eating out literally every meal when I was down there. Yeah, and like I said, trying to be a little more conscious of it, but I really was just, you know, just eating out every meal. So it's going to be, at least for me, interesting to navigate this idea of grocery shopping a little bit more and making more food and, you know, that kind of stuff. And so that, for me at least, that'll be interesting. But is there something else that you guys are interested in that maybe I should cover, that I should try to take a look at? There will be plenty of steak. You guys do not have to worry about that. I don't know if you know this, but Argentina is kind of known for their red meat. The other thing is the wine. The wine's going to be tricky because Argentinian wine, not only is it amazing wine, but it is my favorite kind of wine. And so that's going to be hard because the most amazing wine you can get at the grocery store for very little. And I do mean, you know, very affordable prices. So I mean, when I say affordable, it's ridiculously affordable. So that's going to be tricky, but, you know, alcohol is something that doesn't always, you know, wine is not, you know, it's not terrible. It's, I guess, a little bit better than beer in terms of alcohol and carbs and weight loss. But, you know, still, we're gonna see if we can have that in moderation. Also, fucking Argentina and their bakeries and all their pastries and shit. Fuck. You know, we'll indulge here and there, but we know what we're doing. We know what we need to do, and so it's going to be a little tricky. A little tricky, icky. All right, one more set. 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80. Woo! I am struggling a little bit with this today. Just not really feeling the energy. But anyway, it's going to be interesting because it'll be a different dynamic. And so it will be very interesting to see how we do there. The other thing that I was thinking about is I feel like I need to get a scale. Because on the one hand, last week, if you guys remember, we were getting on the scale, but this particular scale that's a fancy scale had this thing called eyes closed mode, which basically meant that you can get on the scale and it would register all your data, but it wouldn't show it to you unless you went in and found it in the app. So I feel like when I did it, my commitment to the process was also less. And so again, one of the things that I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to be mindful and more conscious of all of these little things, right? To figure out like what is working, what isn't working, how is something making me feel that could throw me off later in the future, I don't know. But I did feel a little less committed because if I were to indulge today, it's not necessarily going to show up tomorrow. Now again, I don't know if this was in the talk on Saturday with Laura, but we have had this conversation, the two of us, plenty of times, and for her is the complete opposite. Having this much information, measuring this much, being this aware of the numbers, really fucks with her head. And so in that way, that can be very tricky for some people. But for me, it really felt like, yeah, if I have something today, it's not really going to be reflected. Like my brain is capable of thinking, next week or the end of the week when we weigh ourselves or when we'll see, because I know that a lot of people have said, like, just weigh yourself once a week. If, like, my brain will make it so that it feels so far away that even if we indulge today, we'll be able to lose it by, and starts making these negotiations, and it's almost like giving me too much wiggle room there. And so I was aware of that and I didn't like it. And now this past week that we were doing this, or that we were getting on the scale again with the eyes open, being able to see the numbers. And basically I did it because we were doing the, weighing the hair and I wanted to see that. Like that was just my commitment to the process, that accountability was more. And so I feel like at least for the next few months, I also should get a scale, a body scale in Argentina, So I don't know, what do you guys think? 2 more sets. 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. Whew. One more set. We are almost there. Almost there, you guys. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to invest in a little body scale. And I have a small food scale that I took with me last year because I was intending to do this also last year. And The one that I took, because I wanted it to be more travel friendly, was this little, like, not necessarily, I mean, it was a food scale, but it was meant to count coffee beans for espresso. So I think it tops out at like 500 grams. So you really can't weigh much. And you know that if you've seen some of the food that we make, it weighs more than that. So I've been thinking that the one that I have that is still there is not, might not be enough. And so I might have to invest on a food scale. So food scale and a body scale, just to be able to quantify all these things. My back's a little tight. One more. Really not feeling this today, guys. One more set. Oh, and then we'll talk about something else for today. Because I think that's what I started saying at the beginning. It just completely got sidetracked. Okay, here we go. 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, and 100. All right, my old friend, my 50-pound kettlebell. I will see you sometime within the year, probably. All right, I'm gonna sit here and we can have our conversation. So today's gonna be a little tricky because I have, since I'm leaving tomorrow, I have a going away dinner at a Tex-Mex restaurant. So, you know, I'm gonna do my best and focus more on the proteins. But again, these are the kind of things that I guess maybe in the future we can be more disciplined about. But it's gonna be difficult to avoid it today. So I'll take some pictures as much as I can, but that's gonna be the case. So I'm just gonna save my calories for that. And that's it. I'll take some pictures, we'll take a look at it, and that'll be it. But for now, our workout is over. It is our last full day in the US. I have some last minute work and things that I need to do. And I'm gonna pack, and then that's it. We're gonna head out, and that is everything. So thank you guys for working out with me. I will see you I will see you later, and I will see you tomorrow and the day after. But for the workout, I will see you on Friday in Argentina, and we're gonna do our first workout in Argentina together. So good job. See you later.